This is Rugby Merlin and welcome back to the channel. So the Irish squad has arrived in South Africa and they are going to be getting ready for the first test in what is probably the most anticipated series of the summer. And let's get into their squad selection and maybe have a little look of who they may go for in that first test. So first of all, let's go to the front row. They have taken 4 tight heads really on paper, Tag, Bealham, Jaeger and O'Toole, and then 2 Lucies with Porter and Healy. So I'm thinking that maybe that Farah will try and convert or try and at least cover the loose head side with one of the tight heads, and I'm gonna bet my cards on Bealham. He looks more like a loose head than he does a tight head. Hooker, Sheehan, Kelleher and Herring. Herring is backing up the 2 other boys. Kelleher I really like. He's a very, very solid player. Sheehan, fantastic athlete, very good carrying the ball. He's a try machine. But there's still a question mark over his set piece play, particularly in not so much the scrum but the line out. He's great when he's not under pressure, but when he's under pressure he has cracked a couple of times in recent memory. So big tour for him. Gonna, I think cement his place and like really earn the trust that he needs to, because that's his main job, is running the set piece. The tries are a nice little add-on or a plus, but he has to perform there. Into the locks, you've got 3 absolutely fantastic players: Big Joe, Tag Byrne and James Ryan. Ryan is a welcome addition, and going back to the hooker question, I think Sheehan with James Ryan would be a fantastic option, because James Ryan is such a good player at organising and controlling the line-out calls, etc. But Tag Byrne you've got, and then Big Joe. So the Lucies are Omani, Pendergrass, Spade, Van der Fleer, Timony Doris and Izukchun, which I probably butchered, but there we are. And sorry buddy. And he can cover second row, and he's a live wire, very much like Big Joe before he burst on the scene. He could do the same thing this tour. I think this might be the tour for him to actually come through. We'll have to wait and see. Is he a lock? Is he a back rower? We're not sure. And Omani is captain, which is huge. I think if a couple of the players had captained their provincial sides a little bit more effectively, then Omani wouldn't have been required on this tour. I really feel like that. But he was so influential on that New Zealand series win. Is it 2 years ago now? And yeah, so I think they brought him in just for that experience, and they're probably going to pick him in the first test, but we'll get to that a little bit later. 9, the scrummy. The main man, Jameson Gibson Park, is out, which is disappointing, but also that's the way rugby works, and it opens up opportunities for other players. And you've got Casey, Murray and Blade there. Casey will be the probable go-to, but Murray is still playing decent rugby for Munster when he gets in. So again, a selection issue, and if it's a selection issue, that means Farrell doesn't have complete trust in Casey yet, which I think is fair enough. So again, we'll get into the selection a little bit later. Into the 10s now. Kind of a huge omission from the squad was Byrne from the Leinster number 10. So considering Ireland picked 18 players from Leinster and the outside half is not one of them, that is gutting for the player, and I really do feel for him. Yeah, but it reflects what a lot of Leinster fans, from what I've gathered, have been feeling, that he's not quite up to par. But Pendergast is there, Crowley, who's shooing for the 10 position, and Frawley, who I thought played very well. If you watch my review of the Leinster finals, Leinster matches, I thought he played very well at 10 when he did come on and get into that position. Just offers a little bit of dynamism, I think, and but he will be there no doubt as a utility back, but let's count him as a 10. Onto the centres. Now in the centre, Ireland again, lots of experience. Aki, McCluskey, which is kind of the wild card, but very solid player. And then Henshaw and Ringrose. Let's see how long Ringrose can last. Hopefully he can play both tests. And the back three. Now this is going to be a tough one to call. You got Lowe, who's definitely in. Stockdale, Nash, Lama, and then Jimmy O'Brien. So some talent there, no doubt. But based on form, I think Stockdale, who had like a kind of bit of a nightmare there for a season or two, he's played his way back into form for Ulster. Nash had a great Six Nations. Lowe is in. Lama, I thought, played very well for Leinster, barring a couple of errors. And, that's the thing that, I think Farrell doesn't like about him, is that he's great for 80% of the time, but then 20% he makes mistakes. And then Jimmy O'Brien, who's like a class player, again, is he match fit? Not sure at 15. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that back three ends up being selected on the match day. Omani is being selected to go down as captain. I think that's a necessity in terms of like nobody else has stepped up to captain this Irish side. He feels like he can convert a tight head to a loosey. He's taken only 3 second rows, so he's going to put someone from the back row in the second row at some point. And I think for the first test, he is going to go very conservative. I can even see, mark my words, Conor Murray starting that match. A bit of a bold statement, I know, but I think that he'll go super conservative for the first test. All of the guys that we know and love, the front row picks itself. Second row, not sure, Tagburn, and I would say he should pick James Ryan. And he might do, I think, James Ryan has a little bit more fitness under his belt now. Now he's come back fully from the injury. So I would go Tagburn, James Ryan. You'll go Omani, Doris and Van der Fleer for the first test. Murray at 9. Crowley at 10. Then he'll go Aki and Ringrose at the centre partnership, and then I think he'll go Lowe, Nash, and I think he'll go Jimmy O'Brien and for the fullback. So a very, very strong team. If they win that test and they do well, he'll give them another shot at the second test and he play the same team. If they lose, I can see him ring in the changes. And I think he's got enough players there, enough new boys, enough inexperienced boys to actually throw them into the lion's den and give them a bit of experience and see how they do. So I think he has a nice balance. He's got that experienced team, and then he's got kind of backups that he can throw in and like see how they do if things are not going well. I don't think if they lose, he'll play the same team the second week. From Farrell's perspective, I don't think that's what he'll do. I don't know why exactly. I could try and pinpoint it. It'll take me another couple of hours, but that's my gut feeling. So a very conservative team to start the first test. And I think if Ireland win, same team the next week. If they lose, he might ring a few changes. So let's see how it goes. It's the biggest game of the summer. There are a few crackers otherwise, but this is the one everyone is really looking forward to. The world champions versus what was the number one team for a long time. So, and they beat them in the World Cup as well. So a lot to play for. I can't wait. So let me know what you think. I made a few controversial calls, I know, but that's what it's all about. Let's go. All right, cheers.